I don't know what that was. What's up, everybody? It is my 8th anniversary with my beautiful wife. Shout out to my wife, Kelsey. I love you. No matter how much we disagree on Greece, no matter what we talk about, go through, all life's ups and downs, you are amazing, and I love you. So, thank you guys so much for all the anniversary love. I do appreciate you. We've been out of the trial for a while, and I was going through the playlist, making sure we didn't miss really anybody. We don't want to really like skip over too many. And I found Chad's mom, which I thought is crazy. So I did not know she testified. So we're going to watch this. It's very short, but I'm sure it'll be a lot of pausing. And I just have always been so curious, like what Chad's family has thought about this. So yes, today is our 8th wedding anniversary. Sorry, I was not clear enough. It's our 8th wedding anniversary. We've been together for 9 years. We're really closing in on 10. And yeah, I'm unbelievably grateful for my beautiful wife. She's amazing. And I just can't believe what it's been like since we've been married. But, you know, I'm grateful for everything that we do have. So I'm going to hang out with you guys for a little bit and then, you know, go spend some time with her. And yeah, man, it's just this whole trial is getting close to being over. I've really looked through our playlist. We're getting close to, we've really watched mostly everybody. A lot of people obviously come in for more kind of backing up information. But in this sense, right now, we really don't have too much more to go through. So we're almost done with this trial. And yeah, I've enjoyed doing this with you, even though I'm having a hard time with a lot of the information and it's emotional. I'm also enjoying being with you guys. And then it's also helpful for me to learn and kind of close the book on something. So let's get right into it. And yeah, this one's going to be different.
All right, the state can call its next witness.
And Your Honor, the state calls Sheila Daybell.
That broke my ear. Thank you, guys. It's very grainy. I'm not sure why it looks so bad. Auto quality. Yeah, that's horrible.
Solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. Thank you.
Thank you, guys, ma'am.
Please be in the microphone.
Thank you.
All right, before the witness testifies here, I am going to inquire because this trial has been, is the exclusionary order in effect for this witness?
And Your Honor, I believe that because she's the mother-in-law of one of the victims, that it doesn't apply to her. It's also our understanding that she did observe some of the trial on video, but my understanding is that because she's the mother-in-law of Tammy Daybell, that's okay and that she's able to view that.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. I'm not going to inquire then as it relates to the court's exclusionary order. So Ms. Beatty, you may go ahead and inquire on direct.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, can you please state your full name and then spell your last name?
Okay, Sheila Daybell, Daybell.
And do you prefer for me to call you Sheila or Mrs. Daybell?
Sheila's fine.
Sheba.
Thank you.
Come on, not Sheba.
Sheila, are you married?
Yes,
Who's your husband?
Jack Daybell.
And do you and Jack Daybell have children together?
Yes,
Who are those children?
So his mom is Sheila and Jack.
Chad, Paul, Matt, Brad, Becky.
And is Chad here in the courtroom today sitting over there?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know an individual named Tammy Daybell?
Yes,
And who was Tammy Daybell?
she's my daughter-in-law.
Did Tammy Daybell pass away in 2009?
Yes, 19.
In 2019, thank you. Do you recall the last time that you saw Tammy Daybell?
Yes,
When was that?
October 13th of 2019.
Yeah, she's, by the way, just to kind of give us some clarity, she's testifying. She's the state's witness. The state's against Chad.
Were you when you saw Tammy?
At her home
And where is her home located?
in Sugar City, Idaho.
Okay. And where do you and Jack live?
Springville, Utah.
So you and Jack traveled to Idaho to see
Yes.
Tammy and Chad. What was the occasion?
Baby blessing.
And When you saw Tammy on October 13th of 2019, how did her health seem to you?
She was fine.
Okay. And did you receive a call from Chad Daybell on October 19th of 2019?
Yes,
What did Chad tell you in that phone call?
that Tammy had passed away.
What did you do when you got that phone call?
We immediately went to Idaho.
I thought that Chad's dad told Heather Daybell to stop stirring the pot. So I'm a little confused.
Did you go to Chad and Tammy's house?
Yes,
Did you see Chad there?
I did.
How would you describe his demeanor?
Upset.
Were Chad's children there as well?
Yes,
How would you describe their demeanor?
Upset. Dude, he couldn't wait to get out of there. He was planning that for forever.
upset.
And did you attend a memorial service for Tammy Daybell?
Yes,
And where was that?
in Springville, Utah.
At some time, did you learn that Chad Daybell had moved out of the residence that he had shared with Tammy?
Yes,
Do you remember approximately when you learned that?
I don't remember a certain date.
Okay. Could you estimate approximately how many weeks after Tammy's death that happened?
Oh, maybe 2 to 3 weeks.
Were you surprised to find out that Chad had moved out of the residence?
Yeah,
I want to talk to you specifically about the middle of November of 2019. Did you and Jack travel to Idaho?
we did.
Did you meet with Chad at a Texas roadhouse
Yes,
in Idaho Falls?
yes.
Was it dinner time, lunchtime?
Dinner time.
Now, you and Jack met Chad at the Texas roadhouse. Was somebody else there?
Yes,
Who was
Oh,
that?
no.
Lori. Vallow.
No shit, dude. You took your freaking cheating mistress to meet your parents.
Had you ever met Lori Vallow before?
No,
During that dinner, did Chad tell you and Jack anything about his relationship with Lori Vallow?
I don't think he did as much as Lori did.
Okay. What did Lori tell you?
Well, she we noticed that they had these rings on, and my husband said, "Are you engaged?" And they said, "No, we're married."
Holy shit. You took her to meet your parents?
Were you surprised?
Yeah,
Did they tell you when they had gotten married?
no,
Now, on November 13th of 2019, this was approximately a month after Tammy's death.
hmm
Is that why you were surprised?
yeah, I was.
Did Chad or Lori tell you anything about whether or not Lori had been married before?
Chad didn't.
Did Lori?
Yes.
What did Lori tell you?
Oh, that she'd been married before?
Yes.
Well, she just said that her husband had recently died,
Did she say how he had died?
heart attack.
It's the stories that she was pitching to everybody. Seriously, every single person got some version of the story, of her sob story, to make you feel bad for her. You think about what someone would say if you found out that someone's spouse passed away from a heart attack. If that actually happened, one of the first things most people would probably say in a real way would be like, "Hey, I'm really sorry," and she's accepting condolences for Charles after murdering him.
When Lori said that her husband had died of a heart attack, what did Chad say, if anything?
I don't remember any specific mention.
Okay. And did Lori or Chad say anything about whether or not Lori had children?
She said she had a daughter that had died.
Do you remember how old that daughter was?
She didn't say a date. A time.
Did she say anything about whether or not she had a young son?
No,
When Lori said that her daughter died, did Chad say anything that you recall?
I can't. No, I don't think.
At the end of that dinner, did you believe
So
that
she's at dinner telling Chad's parents that her husband died and her daughter died.
Lori had a daughter who had died?
Yes.
Okay.
Psycho behavior.
Did Lori or Chad say anything about their financial situation during that dinner?
Nothing specific.
Did they make any reference to any money that they'd come into?
Nothing specific.
Did they reference their financial situation at all?
Just that they were okay.
Okay. Where were they living at the time?
You know, I don't know.
Okay. Do you know what state they were living in at the time?
At that dinner, I didn't know. I thought Idaho maybe.
Okay. And at some point, did you learn that they had moved to Hawaii?
Yes.
And after you learned, well,
I don't think people understand. If you look up the cost of living in Kauai specifically, it is another world. It is all import taxes that you're paying for everything. Everything that you're getting, milk, anything, is literally imported. So you're paying a lot more for everything. It's just cost of living is really high.
actually, I should ask you this. Do you remember approximately when you learned that they had moved to Hawaii?
Mm. Sometime after that. I
Okay.
don't know when exactly.
Within a few weeks or months of that dinner?
a few weeks.
Few weeks. Did you talk on the phone with them from time to time while they were living in Hawaii?
Yes.
Did they ever mention Lori having children there with them?
No.
Okay. And I have no further questions for this witness.
All right, thank you. Mr. Pryor, cross-examination.
Oh gosh, I forgot about Pryor. It's been a long time. It's been like a week.
Good morning, Ms. Daybell. Prosecuting attorney asked you about your children. Obviously, you have a son, Chad. Is that right?
Yes.
And who are the other children?
Paul and Matt.
Okay, let's go slowly, though. And Paul is married to an Emily, if I remember right. Is that right?
Yes.
And then who's the next one?
Matt.
And Matt's here today, right?
Yes.
Wearing a green shirt? Okay, and who is Matt married to?
Heather.
Okay. And going back to Emily, do you have a good relationship with Emily?
Very good.
Very close. How would you describe your...
Honor, I'm going to object based on relevance. I don't understand the relevance of Mrs. Daybell's relationship to Emily.
I don't see any relevance here either, Mr. Pryor. Is there relevance?
Judge, in regards to Emily, it's a source of information that she received about some of her testimony. So that's where I guess I could stop with Emily at this point and then present the relevance on the other witnesses as I go forward. But I'd like to start with Emily.
Okay, well, I'll sustain that then at this
Okay.
point.
And in regards to Emily, at the time of this case, you were contacted by law enforcement and asked some questions, I think, of Lieutenant Ball. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And prior to that, you received or had some discussion with Emily about the case and some facts about children. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And it was Emily who provided you the information about Lori Vallow having a daughter. Is that correct?
Well, I had talked to Lori at that dinner, and she had said that
Okay.
daughter.
But did the interview with and the interview with Lieutenant Ball occurred in December. That's correct. And when you met with Lori, she discussed with you the idea that, or told you that she had a daughter. Is that correct?
Yes.
And she told you that daughter was deceased.
Yes.
Okay. And when you interviewed by Lieutenant Ron Ball, you confirmed that that's the information that you obtained. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Your point?
Now, you made a comment that it was Lori who was telling you this information. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And it wasn't Chad who was providing you any of this information, correct?
No.
Now, I know you know your son, Chad, right? Because you gave birth to him, right?
What the yeah, she gave birth to him. Great point.
Right.
He lived with you in the same Springville area up until 2015.
Yes.
Okay. And then ironically enough, Tammy's family is from Springville as well, correct?
Yes.
So both Tammy and Chad were both from that area. And then they migrated to Idaho in 2015, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And how would you describe Lori Vallow's personality and the manner in which she spoke with you?
Very friendly.
Okay.
Very upbeat.
Persuasive?
Yeah.
Would you say that when you talk to her, she could be very charming and convincing?
Yes.
Okay. Now we'll turn to your son, Chad, not Matt. Your son, Chad. And your son, Chad,
This is so stupid. It's not a time to make stupid little jokes.
would you describe him as someone who's shy,
Can be.
soft-spoken,
Yes.
more of an introvert?
And Your Honor, I think we're beyond the scope here.
Yeah.
Objection.
Overruled.
Would it be fair to say that your son, Chad, is a bit of an introvert?
Yes.
He's a book writer.
It's just really hard. Most introverts don't go to groups and meetings and talk about very intimate, spiritual, religious things in front of people. It's just not really an introvert thing. So that's really weird to say introvert.
Um,
I'll also instruct the witness, please. You need to make a verbal response. So say yes or no. The nodding and
Okay.
shaking your head doesn't come up on our record, unfortunately.
Yes, he's a book writer.
okay. So he's not someone who is, I don't want to use that word. He's not gregarious. Do you understand what the word gregarious means? Okay.
Yes.
He's not a gregarious personality, is he?
No.
He met Tammy at a relatively young age,
Yes.
and they got married very young.
Yes.
Your son Chad is not necessarily a man of the world, right?
What is that even supposed to mean, a man of the world?
Not worldly.
So he didn't have like a lot of experience in dealing with relationships or anything like that, correct?
No.
In fact, Tammy was really his only ever real serious relationship,
Yes.
and that's the woman he married.
Yes.
Now, if we fast forward to Lori Vallow, she was a different personality, a much more dynamic personality, correct?
Are we really going to try to act like that Lori just swayed Chad the whole time? Really? Okay, prior.
Yes. 1 hour.
And when we talk about Tammy, Tammy was a very kind soul,
Yes.
very giving person, sort of the kind of person Chad is in terms of personality, right?
Yes.
So was this a bit of a shock that suddenly your husband goes from a very charming wife who's very kind, caring,
Your husband? You mean your son?
loving mother to Lori Vallow?
Wait,
Who's
hold
very
on.
kind, caring,
That's
loving
very
mother.
confusing.
Sort of the kind of person Chad is in terms of personality, right?
Yes.
So was this a bit of a shock that suddenly your husband goes from
Your husband? It's your fucking son, not your husband.
a very charming wife who's very kind, caring, loving mother to Lori Vallow?
Yes.
That was a bit of a shock.
Yes.
Now, I
It's not her husband, dog.
don't want to be perceived as being insensitive to the subjects, but in the LDS faith, it's not uncommon to get married quite quickly, is it?
Not uncommon.
Right. In fact, when young men come back from their missions, it's not, you're smiling. When young men come back from their missions, it's not uncommon for them to start a relationship with a woman and marry quite quickly. Would you agree with that?
I
They
agree.
come home with one mission, and it's to repopulate the earth. That's what the missionaries do.
Agree.
Okay. So the situation with Chad, he had one marriage to Tammy, and that was met Tammy, and then within a reasonably short time, they got married, didn't they?
Yes.
Had a family, had 5 children,
Yes.
and Chad also, after the death of Tammy, it was pretty quick. We can agree that it was pretty quick that he got married to Lori, correct?
Yes.
It's not pretty quick. It's damning. It's damningly quick.
Now, on the day you came down for the, when Tammy passed away, you described your son as upset,
Yes.
visibly upset.
Yes.
Okay. And did you stay there long enough to see other people show up during that time? Other visitors, neighbors? I understand the Gilberts came over. Were you there when the Gilberts came over?
I don't remember names, but there were several people that came over.
And at that time when several people came over, and how long would you say you were there?
Oh, 4 or 5 hours?
Okay. And during the 4 or 5 hours after Tammy passed away, did your son ever look like disinterested in the death of his wife?
No. Never
Did he ever look like he was just being stoic and businesslike when in dealing with Tammy's just recent death?
He was just faking everything, bro. He was just faking it.
He just acted like someone who just had their partner pass away, which is
He literally texted Lori and said, "I'm sad, but not for the reason that everybody thinks I am." He did not give a flying F about his own wife. So let's not try to sit here and act like this man had an ounce of sympathy for what he did.
And at no time during the 5 hours that you were there and these friends were coming by, did you see anything other than someone who was upset and struggling with the loss of a partner. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, Judge, I don't think I have anything else. Thank you.
All right.
I don't know if there's anything left in this one.
Mrs. Daybell, Sheila, do you think it's common within the faith, the LDS faith, to get married 2 weeks after your spouse dies?
Not common.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. I have no further questions.
There you go. Which most people in there are pretty much probably LDS. I have one more for us that's short. It is JJ's babysitter, but we could also do that one tomorrow. We're also going to be listening to this one, which is Jason's, which is Tammy's brother-in-law. That's a really long one. It's an hour 45, so that might be our tomorrow. We have another short one. We'll just cut this one for today. I know it's fast, but I wanted to get this one in. I wanted to hear what she had to say. Unfortunately, didn't go into much detail. It sounded like they were kind of using, well, at least prior tried to create character with Chad and try to make it look like, you know, that Chad was an introverted, quiet, inexperienced to the world. And then here comes the devil Lori, and she put her little hex on him, and, you know, she's the bad avatar and came in and screwed him up. So, yeah, it's a horrible strategy, especially when you see their conversations and him talking about how he's sad, but not for the reason that everybody thinks he is. And then all him and his kids go on a vacation with the new mom and call her mom. I mean, stuff is messed up. We also have, by per request of you guys want to also have the land. Is it the landowner or the real estate agent that kind of snaps back at Pryor? I do remember hearing that and laughing because he snapped back at Pryor, and that was a big deal. So we can also watch that. So we are not done. We'll be getting through this week, and then there will be closing arguments and getting through that. Just want to say thank you guys for everything. Thank you for being a community. And if you guys need stuff, you know, we have, like, for all the chiefs and the motherfucking ones, we have a Discord. If you are a chief or a motherfucking one, just join the Discord, and that way you have a place to go. But for everybody else too, just know that, like, leaving comments on the community tab, you guys have the ability to post on the community tab. So if you need things or you just want to chat, it's there for you. So just so you know, I always want to remind you that we have a community here for you. Outside of the scope of what we're talking about with just court stuff, the bigger point is all of us as human beings getting through life together. So other than that, I will see you guys very soon. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you. And yeah, I'm going to go hang out with my wife.